Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to talk about violence. We're going to talk about a couple contexts in which law and order must be applied for the safety of everyone for sure. And we're going to talk about fighting words, which are words that justify punching someone or attacking them and hurting them and so on. Now, I'm not a leftist, so I don't think calling someone a Nazi makes you justified in punching him. But if someone calls you a Nazi and they've got something in their hands, or there's a couple of them and they're surrounding you, or he's like puffing up his chest and walking right into you, or something like that, then you're justified in punching the crap out of him. When Antifa first started popping off more noticeably back in about 2015, 2016, I was trying to message Sargon in private messages on Facebook saying they needed to get literally kneecapped for doing it, or it would get really bad in the future. It might have been 2016 because BLM was 2015 in Ferguson. But I agree, very harsh measures on people that start violence almost always is necessary. You know, if someone steals your wallet and you punch them in the head, that doesn't count basically, but starting violence and escalating it one-sidedly for a time until murder, or even before that, cannot be tolerated. And this is for the murder part, by the way. Even if you have to bayonet a bunch of them for getting to that point, which means stabbing them with a knife stuck on a rifle. Or do extreme violence compared to what they did to the innocent or you or something like that. And the thing is, psycho freaks tend to be cowards. They'll only hit the weak, or they'll have to talk themselves up and often gang up on people or use weapons on unarmed people. But they always have to talk themselves up if which is what the left was doing the whole time about that whole quote-unquote punch some Nazis thing they were constantly saying. I knew it right away because I've seen bullies try that, and they did attack me or others after talking themselves up and stuff, so it was a real fight. But I found it was easy to short circuit it by punching them in the jaw as soon as they started talking themselves up, and they shut the hell up and went away. So it was a success. And that's kind of what Israel does with Muslim countries, to be honest. The Muslim countries talk themselves up to attack Israel and so on their terms, and then Israel punches them in the jaw, so to speak, while they're talking themselves up to attack Israel. And then they go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I can't fight back. And it's like, yeah, no shit. Stop telegraphing your attacks if you want victory. You know? But if you don't telegraph your attacks, then you lack the propaganda to justify the attack in the first place. And the world stage is a big place with a lot of people who think justice is important, so if you don't have any propaganda, you don't even have a chance of any support in regards to Israel. So that's kind of a geopolitical version of that. But it's literally them trying to drum up the courage to piss someone off by attacking them, because they know the chances of winning are not 99%, and they know pissing off someone that wins against them when they attack first is really bad news. It's basically the personal level version of war propaganda from totalitarian societies to justify invading everyone else. Not to sound cliche, but that's where the real hate propaganda is. That's the 2 minutes of hate George Orwell talked about, not quote-unquote, and this is an example just for the right wing, basically, is quote-unquote, I hate blacks for stealing my stuff. Right? Yeah, if they actually did that or something, you know. Because then you have a reason. They actually... Well, I'll just continue. They focus on pronoun microaggressions and ignore rape and murder from minorities. You don't do that if you're honest about justice. There's actually a legal term for this kind of behavior. Quote-unquote fighting words. It's a very specific context, but if someone walks up to you with a pipe or something like that and calls you an F-word slur for gays that doesn't know you or doesn't like, or you know doesn't like you, that's contextually relevant in a proper judge's courtroom for you hitting them first. Same goes if multiple people surround you and they start insulting you who you don't know or you know hate you. It's such basic behavior what they're doing at that time that chimps do it when on genocide runs in other tribes' territories. And that's how ingrained it is in apes, including humans. And that's why it's so common sense to accept that fighting words can exist. Now, calling someone a Nazi in a society that a bunch of the population, like 1/5 of the population, is saying punch Nazis, and it's the same people typically that call others Nazis that also say punch Nazis. Right? It's I insulted you, therefore I get to hurt you further physically. Right? That's not a good. That's not appropriate. You know. Less inappropriate is I insult you, you hurt me physically. Right? It's not very good, but, you know, that's fine. Now, if I'm insulting you to dehumanize you in the moment by getting emotional as I insult you further and further, and you're a stranger to me, or someone you know I don't like, and I'm getting increasingly angry and so on, then that's full justification to beat the crap out of me. Because I'm talking myself up to do great violence towards you. Those are fighting words. That's what a fighting word basically means. It's not, hey, you're dumb. It's, I hate the very existence of your soul. Something about you pisses me off to the point that I cannot contain my anger at all. Now, to give a perverse example of how this could possibly work, imagine someone called Jeffrey Epstein a pedophile. And the pedophile is rightly afraid. Well, a fighting word is basically something similar, but whether it's justifiable to call the person that act in terms of accuracy, or whether it's justifiable to actually do violence even if the term is accurate, is different. So basically what I say is death to child rapists, but basically a fighting word is taking someone who disagrees with you on politics or some sort of minor thing that's not like gonna end the world or something like that, and maybe, you know, basic stuff most like half the population agrees on or disagrees on or something like that, and life goes on kind of stuff, and treats it like they just said they raped children and are going to continue doing it. That's the spirit of what fighting words is. It's taking something relatively trivial in the global scheme, and it's not gonna like necessarily hurt other people directly, particularly, and it's treating them like a child rapist, according to 95%, 99% of the population's view of child rapists and what they want to do to them. So yeah,